You've been lied to. You've been told buffets in Vegas are a thing of the past. Well, that's simply not true. And if we found a beauty that just opened, it's a brand new all-you-can-eat brunch right on the Strip that you must try. I honestly think it outshines every other brunch in Las Vegas in both taste and quality. The food here rivals top-tier restaurants. In fact, this may be my new favorite spot, period. And I've got a feeling it'll become yours as well. Welcome to Let's Eat Vegas, your guide to the good, the bad, and the delicious, where an award-winning chef will give you his unbiased, honest opinions. We're at Caramella Italian Restaurant inside Planet Hollywood Resort and Casino. And let me tell you, this place isn't playing around. Forget overcrowded buffet lines and sad, lukewarm, chafing dishes containing desiccated food. At Caramella, every single dish is made fresh to order. This is brunch with very high standards, and your taste buds will immediately recognize the difference. Brunch runs every Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., priced at $55 per person for all you can eat. And unlike some AYCE spots, such as your typical sushi joint, you won't get hit up for leaving a few extra bites behind. They actually encourage you to explore, to graze, and to indulge. And honestly, isn't that exactly how brunch should be? Well, we have a lot of food to cover, so let's get started. You begin with a small plate of breakfast pastries, a soft croissant filled with fruit jam, and a mini chocolate donut. They're warm, homemade, and just sweet enough to let you know you're in for something special. Not earth-shattering, but a thoughtful start that already puts them ahead of most buffets. There's also a small serving of fruit, but in all honesty, I didn't come here to fill up on pineapple slices. I'm pacing myself for the real stars of the show. And just like that, things get interesting. This may just be the best shrimp I've had in all of Vegas, and I'm not saying that lightly. Honestly, if I weren't filming this review, I'd be elbow deep in a mountain of these beauties right now. But duty calls, and the rest of the menu awaits. So don't think I only ate these few because they just didn't stir something deep within. These shrimp are worth obsessing over. They arrive chilled over crushed ice, perfectly poached, practically glowing. The color is iridescent. Each one is plump, briny, and unbelievably fresh, as though they swam straight from the ocean to my plate. This isn't your average cocktail shrimp. It's the kind of seafood that makes you sit back and question every bland shrimp you've ever eaten before. On top, a dusting of freshly grated horseradish gives them a clean, sinus-tingling kick. You get two sauces here, a bold, zesty cocktail sauce, and a spicy remoulade. Tastes strikingly close to my own house-made version. And that's the kind of compliment I don't give out lightly. Cavatelli dates back to southern Italy, where these little shell-like pasta shapes were once made by hand with just flour and water, no eggs, making them a humble but hearty staple of peasant cooking. Meanwhile, Bolognese sauce, or ragu alla Bolognese, comes from Bologna in northern Italy, where it was traditionally served over tagliatelle. The earliest written recipe appears in the 18th century, but like all good things Italian, every family swears theirs is the right way to make it. Caramella's makes their cavatelli pasta from scratch, and it's absolutely wonderful. This is real, authentic Italian food, the kind I grew up with and learned to make from my nonna. If you like to know what real Italian, authentic Bolognese tastes like, then come here and experience it firsthand. It's rich, savory, delicious, and with just a hint of spiciness to give it a little warmth. Made with beef, veal, and your classic mirepoix, that's celery, carrots, and onions, and finally a whisper of garlic to round it out. The sauce reminds me so much of the one my mother passed down, a recipe that's been in our family for generations. This is a fantastic tribute to old world Italian cooking, and I don't think you'll find any better in the city. These golden bites are arancini, deep-fried risotto balls that originated in Sicily around the 10th century during Arab rule. And such a creative idea what they've done with them here. I'll definitely be stealing this for my next dinner party. Traditionally filled with meat or cheese, Caramella gives theirs a Vegas twist by topping them with delicate cubes of fresh tuna tartare and a light peppery remoulade. The arancini have a whisper of fennel that's subtle but adds depth, and the tuna is clean, vibrant, and beautifully fresh. It's a sophisticated bite, crispy, creamy, silky, and gone far too quickly. But don't fret, just order more. Bellissimo! This is one salad extraordinaire. Prosciutto, cured pork aged for months, is a tradition in Italy that dates back to Roman times. Combine that salty, paper-thin ham with sweet, ripe figs, and you've got a pairing that stood the test of centuries. Figs, by the way, were one of the earliest fruits cultivated by humans. They've been on Italian plates since before Caesar wore togas. Drizzled with a syrupy balsamic reduction, made from grapes aged for up to 12 years, and you've got something that feels more fine dining than buffet. The addition of mint is unexpected, but smart. It lifts the entire dish and gives it a cool contrast. This salad is a beautiful culinary composition. Let's talk oysters. Thought to be nature's original aphrodisiac. These briny beauties were once considered street food in 19th century America before becoming a delicacy. The tradition of eating them raw goes back to ancient Rome. But in Vegas, Caramella gives them the royal treatment. They're freshly shucked to order, and you can get as many as you like. The cocktail sauce hits with a bold horseradish punch, and the mignonette, a vinegar-based shallot sauce, adds just the right acidic pop to let the natural sweetness of the oysters shine. These are as fresh as anything you'd get at a seafood bar, and they come with your brunch. That alone is worth the ticket price. Light, crisp, but unfortunately, extremely forgettable. It's not bad, it's simply the victim of the high quality of its menu mates, a bit outclassed by everything else on the menu, that is. The shaved fennel adds a delicate licorice note, and the arugula gives that classic peppery bite. But there's no spark, no standout element to make it memorable. Next time, I'll save the stomach space and have them shuck another dozen oysters or so. These waffles, lighter than air, fluffy, golden, straight out of a Belgian's daydream, topped with pickled carrots and chives. They're the perfect stage for a stack of crispy, boneless, white meat fried chicken that practically sings when you bite into it. The batter is wildly addictive, crunchy, seasoned, and everything you want Southern fried chicken to be. Then comes the real maple syrup, infused with bourbon. It's warm, slightly smoky, and just boozy enough to feel a little scandalous. And those candied pecans on top? Glorious. This dish is Harlem's soul food royalty. While the combination likely has deeper Southern roots, it was Harlem's jazz clubs in the 1930s that put chicken and waffles on the map. It was a perfect late-night compromise. Sweet for the breakfast crowd, savory for those just leaving the clubs. I wish I could have finished the plate, but let's be honest, if I had, it would have finished me. Now, what does finish me? If you can believe it, according to YouTube, 80% of you watching right now are not subscribed. What? Subscribing is free, helps us grow, and to bring you more reviews. And if you find value in our reviews, consider making a small donation using the link to buy me a coffee in the description area below. We'd greatly appreciate it. Now this is what comfort food dreams are made of. These meatballs start with tender veal blended with prosciutto. Yes, prosciutto, seasoned just right with just the mildest hint of garlic and a gentle kick of red pepper. They're lightly breaded, fried to a golden crisp. And just when you think it can't get any better, bam! You cut into it, and out flows molten fresh mozzarella like a delicious secret hidden by an Italian grandma. And the sauce, it's not your average marinara. It's thick, rich, old world style, exactly how my Nonna used to make it back when tomatoes were practically a currency. It's got that bold tomato paste backbone, deep umami, and just the right tang to cut through the richness. It's heartier than my mom's version and heavier than mine, but in the best, most nostalgic way. If you only order one appetizer, make it this one. It's got crispy edges, gooey cheese, and a sauce that tastes like it simmered on the stove all Sunday morning. Trust me, your taste buds will be very grateful. I overheard the woman at the next table telling her friends that she and her husband come here all the time just for the Caesar salad, so naturally, I had to try it. Well, it's not a traditional Caesar, but I get it. It's a more light, balanced version in that it doesn't clobber you with garlic or anchovy. It actually reminds me of the one I had at Buddy V's, which I liked. Creamy, smooth, and easy to eat. It's nothing like the bold, tableside Caesar I used to serve in my restaurant, or the original I tasted many decades ago. But for a softer, more modern version, it's done very well. Are you a fan of Caesar salad? And where was the best you ever had? I'd love to hear in the comments. Spaghetti alla carbonara is a Roman classic, believed to have first appeared during or shortly after World War II. Some say it was inspired by American GIs who brought bacon and eggs to Italy, while others trace its roots to the coal workers of Lazio. Either way, true carbonara is simple, rustic, and deeply satisfying, made with eggs, pecorino romano, black pepper, and guanciale. No cream, no shortcuts. If one thing and one thing alone would bring me back here, it'd have to be this carbonara. But who am I kidding? Almost everything I've had today would pull me back, especially those shrimp. This is hands down one of the best versions I've tasted in the States. It really does taste like something you'd find in Rome. They make it the authentic way, and I love the egg yolk perched on top. Break it and mix it in, creates a rich, smooth, natural sauce that envelops each strand of spaghetti like a warm embrace. There's so much going on in this bowl of pasta. It's an outstanding dish, full of nostalgic comfort, and I absolutely love it. Hopefully after filming the review, I'll still have a little room left to put in another order. Chicken Parmigiano has been an Italian-American favorite since at least the 1950s, when Southern Italian immigrants adapted their beloved melanzane alla Parmigiana, that's eggplant parm, using more affordable and popular ingredients in the United States, such as breaded chicken cutlets and loads of mozzarella. The stuffed version is a newer addition, likely born in American kitchens where chefs wanted to amp up the richness by hiding even more cheese within. This isn't a dish from Naples or Rome. It's pure Italian-American comfort food at its best. And this cheese stuffing is quite the departure from the version I grew up with, but I'm really enjoying this. They make their own house-made breadcrumbs from their homemade bread, and it makes a noticeable difference. The sauce reminds me of one your Italian nonna would have made. It's hearty, old-world style with a depth that sticks with you. The chicken is fantastic, tender, moist, and so delicate you barely need a knife. It's stuffed with gooey mozzarella. That's the perfect match for the juicy chicken and that crispy breadcrumb crust. Between the crust, the cheese, and the rich sauce, you get a variety of textures in every bite. It's a bold, comforting, and very successful dish. Avocado toast may seem like a modern Instagram star, but its roots go back further than you think. While it became a millennial breakfast cliche in the 2010s, thanks in part to cafes in LA and Melbourne, the earliest known mention of mashed avocado on toast dates back to at least the 1920s in Australia, and even earlier, however, the Aztecs mashed avocados on flatbreads. And let's be honest, it's basically the same idea. Now on to this version. The good. The bread is fantastic, house-made, fresh-baked, and so flavorful that now I know I need to try the garlic bread. I skipped it at the start because I didn't want to fill up too early. But one bite of this toast, and I realized I missed out. The bad? Well, this felt more like caprese salad served on toast than what I usually think of as avocado toast. The mozzarella, tomato, and basil combo sort of stole the spotlight from the avocado. But here comes the delicious. If you're a fan of both caprese salad and avocado toast, this mashup might just be your dream come true. It's rich, creamy, fresh, beautifully textured. Would I order it again? Probably no. I'd save those carbs for one of their pasta dishes. But would I recommend it? Absolutely, especially to anyone who lights up at the sight of caprese salad. One bite of this, and I can already hear my Uncle Sal.
Mamma mia, that's one spicy pasta.
If you like your pasta with a little attitude, this one's for you. But fair warning, if you're sensitive to heat, proceed with caution. The sauce isn't here to gently warm your taste buds. It's a full-on Calabrian chili kick in the pants. The tomato sauce is bold, spicy, and just creamy enough to smooth the edges without taming the fire. It's definitely not your average mild marinara. The penne isn't house-made, but it's a quality semolina pasta cooked beautifully al dente, just the way it should be. Now, I'll be honest, the pasta needed a touch of salt for me. Actually, I felt a few dishes today needed a tad more. I asked for salt at the beginning of the meal and added a pinch on each pasta. As a former restaurant owner, though, I get it. A lot of places these days are scared of seasoning beyond the general public's new lower threshold. As my grandmother always said, you can always add salt, but you can't take it away. So probably most wouldn't have a problem with any of the dishes at Caramella's. And for me, once I simply added a pinch or two, this pasta really came alive. It's rich, fiery, and full of character. I've loved every pasta dish I've had here today. If you're a garlic bread lover, cancel your plans. This is the one. It isn't just a simple garlic bread. It's garlic bread worthy of Mount Olympus. Each slice of the house-baked loaf is lovingly stuffed with melted cheese and simply oozing with flavor. The garlic is unapologetically bold, and the seasoning is spot on. To make it even better, they serve it with two dipping sauces. A vibrant house-made pesto that sings with fresh basil and a pungent, zesty zing. I know it sounds funny, but it's what I imagine green tasting like. The second sauce? Well, more of that rich red sauce I keep telling you reminds me of my Nona's. Slow-simmered, soulful, and full of love. Pro tip? Order this last. It wasn't my plan to save it for the end, but serendipity stepped in, and thank goodness it did. If I'd started with this, I never would have had room for anything else. It's that dangerously good. I genuinely wished I could sneak some home, but of course, this is an all-you-can-eat brunch, and they don't do doggy bags. I guess I'll just have to wait for time travel so I can go back 20 years and I could eat 3 times what I can today. Okay, time for some discipline. I'm going to have to forgo the rest of this garlic bread. What a tragedy. While in the savory world, anything Florentine tells one to expect all things spinach and bechamel. Here, well, it's hard to say exactly why they called it Florentine. Possibly the use of mascarpone cheese. Well, honestly, they could have likened it to a box of rocks and I'd still love it just as much. Think the finest cannoli filling you've ever had meets Sunday brunch in heaven. These pancakes are pure dessert for breakfast decadence. Whatever you do, don't skip these. They're life-alteringly good. The pancakes themselves are fluffy, golden, just sturdy enough to hold what I could only describe as a dessert lover's dream. A whipped mascarpone topping, and as I said, tastes like the inside of the best cannoli you've ever had. Light, sweet, creamy, and gently nudged with vanilla and orange zest. Then they add toasted hazelnuts for crunch and hide a surprise treasure trove of fresh sweet berries underneath. I asked for a little more of that amazing warm bourbon maple syrup, and when I poured it on, I swear I heard angels harmonizing in Italian.
You had me at pancakes.
I can't wait to come back just for these. If I had 2 stomachs, I'd order another stack right now without a second thought. Of course, if I had 2 stomachs, I'd make James Coco look anorexic. And last, but definitely not least, let's talk tiramisu French toast. Imagine thick slices of brioche soaked in espresso and Kahlua. And yes, it's every bit as indulgent as it sounds. They top it with whipped mascarpone, shaved dark chocolate, and a drizzle of organic maple syrup. This dish doesn't just end the meal, it sends it off with a standing ovation. Honestly, it might be my favorite bite of the day, which is really saying something after the strong offerings which have preceded it. It's bold, it's rich, it's perfectly balanced between sweet and sophisticated. I asked for a little extra syrup, and it elevated the whole thing to even greater heights. That extra sweetness pushes it well over the edge into full-blown dessert territory, and that's right where I want it to be to end the meal. This is how brunch should conclude. On a note so sweet and smooth, you'll be thinking about it long after the last bite. a true masterpiece. Caramella isn't just another brunch spot. It's a tour de force. This isn't reheated buffet fare or assembly line eggs. This is a full-blown restaurant experience disguised as an all-you-can-eat deal. Every dish we tried had intention, technique, and soul behind it. From the superlative, sumptuous shrimp, to the impossibly fresh oysters, to the insanely good carbonara, to the life-altering garlic bread, to the heavenly Florentine pancakes, to the triumphant, tremendous tiramisu French toast, and just about everything else we had today. It's clear this kitchen not only understands culinary first principles, but more importantly, knows how to apply those principles to make deeply satisfying, addictive food. For $55, you're not paying for quantity, you're getting quality, made fresh to order, again and again until you tap out. It's one of the rare places on the Strip that delivers real value without sacrificing taste or style. We do mostly focus on the food, but it's worth noting that Caramella has amazing drink varieties as well. You can make a full video on that aspect alone. Well, whether you're looking for something new or visiting Vegas and craving a brunch worth your time and calories, Caramella is the move. Trust me, you'll leave full, happy, and already planning your return. We'll be back to Caramella soon. In fact, I made a reservation for next weekend. Maybe you'll see us there. And as usual, don't forget to tell them, Let's Eat Vegas sent you. This would be a good time to hit the notifications bell so you get a reminder when the next review becomes available. And of course, it's always a good time to like, subscribe, comment, or share. It's free to do so, and it helps us to grow and to bring you more reviews. Until we eat again, bon appetit!